Hey folks, sorry I'm live. I didn't realise it had gone live. This is my first live that I'm doing in a long time, and if you've followed the previous video, you'll know that I'm going through a journey with cancer at the moment, and we've had so many lovely messages from people asking more about it and sharing your feelings and thoughts, and asked if I could maybe give you a little bit more information about it. I've made a decision to do as much as I can whilst I'm here to share with you what the experience is like. So we've just arrived in Istanbul, and my treatment starts tomorrow morning, my first day, and basically it involves being in the clinic for about 7:30, 7:45, and I am now in a fasted state, so I haven't been eating for about the last 6 or 7, 8 hours, whatever, and I will continue that all the way through till some point tomorrow. And one of the theories behind this, if you look into this with cancer, is you're starving the cancer of essentially nutrients and sugar. That weakens it whilst leading into the process of having the chemotherapy. The clinic where I'm going offers a integrative approach, so it's a low dose chemotherapy, which I resisted for a long time. If anybody knows my past, I've been very much on the opposite side of that. I've done a lot of natural things, healing and cleansing and diet, etc. Unfortunately, the nature of the cancer and the fact that it moved to my liver and then doubled in size in the space of 2 or 3 months just led me to having to use something slightly more aggressive to try and contain it and then get rid of it. So tomorrow's the toughest day. I'm always a bit cautious and nervous about it because it involves going in and starting in an oxygen chamber for an hour, hyperbaric chamber, which oxygenates the body. Again, cancer doesn't like that. It loves to thrive in an anaerobic environment where there's no oxygen, so the oxygen goes in. And then I move to blood tests, which I may have already done, depends on the timings. And they'll have a look at my blood to see, and it's very much an integrative process of seeing where my body is and then adjusting the treatment to that. And then I move into a room where they start to infuse me with vitamin C, with vitamin D, iron, possibly B vitamins, along with antioxidants. And this is all a combination of things through the day, by the way, but they also will introduce insulin to my blood. That helps lower the sugar levels because cancer loves sugar. And then once it gets to a certain level, they're monitoring me. They then put the chemotherapy into the body, and I start that, and that carries on all the way through the day. Thanks, Jace. My brother's just brought me some drink. I can have drink, but I can't have any food. So, thanks, bro. That experience is because I'll have had no food for quite a period at that stage. So as soon as the sugar levels get to a certain level, I have to have something to eat just to keep me in a consciously sort of state without me blacking out, whatever. And then the infusion of the chemotherapy comes in low dose, typically 50%, but everybody's different based on what the cancer is in their body and their current situation. It's phenomenal the way they do it. And then what happens then is I'll then move into a heat chamber. Typically, it starts on the liver where my cancer is, and they heat it to about 45 degrees. Cancer starts to break down at 41 to 42 degrees, and that's 1 whole hour. It's really intensive. You can imagine what a 30-degree day is like. Imagine 45 degrees on your belly. And then what happens is an hour of that, I have to stay hydrated. That's where I personally start to struggle because I have a stoma and an output bag there. So it's slightly different for me because we have to keep the heat not completely on the stoma area because it can be quite challenging, in my case anyway. And also because my output for my stoma is quite high, the dehydration in my case has made it a bit more tricky. Plus I'm self-catheterizing, so there's lots of factors in my situation that I just have to manage. And because my body weight's low, I just have to balance that. This is where full dosage chemotherapy for me, I think, would have wiped me out. And then essentially I come out of there, there's a small rest. All the time I'm on a drip, so my arm is literally having the chemotherapy coming in with the antioxidants into the body whilst it's being hit, like jabbing with the heat. Now you're several hours into the process of the day now, slight break, a little bit of fluids and whatever, and then into another process, which is full body heat. That's the toughest one for me personally. If I get a chance, I might try and post a video of it tomorrow. But anyway, it's effectively a tent that just goes over the body and brings the whole temperature up to 45 degrees while still on the treatment. And that's 90 minutes. That's my toughest one. And then from there, immediately I'm wrapped in this insulated foil, like a blanket, which keeps for another hour to keep the body up at that temperature, constantly breaking down the cells whilst still maintaining the chemotherapy. Then into vitamin C again, I think, and then into, I believe, antioxidants going in through infusion. That's typically around about, I think, a total day of about 7 or 8 hours. It's very intensive, but the results they're getting are incredible. So that's what's happening tomorrow. At the end of it, I'm wiped out personally. Everyone reacts differently. I've seen people walk out of there, they're tired, but they feel strong. It's just in my case, because I'm very depleted weight-wise and energy, and with what happens with the stone, where I just have to manage it slightly differently. So that's what's happening tomorrow. I'm going to sign out. Feel free to leave some messages here. For me, it's inspiring to see what people are saying. Some of you may have family members or whatever going through this. I've met many people here at the clinic that, they were basically written off. They were put into palliative care, told there's nothing else that can be done from them. And this is from all over the world. People from New Zealand, Australia, America, several from the UK, Romania, all over. And most of them have come because whatever they were having previously just couldn't work for them. Even many of them, like myself, have done a lot of natural cleansing, etc. And that continues, by the way. So in between these treatments, after 3 days of this, I go back to the UK. So I'll typically spend an extra day, go back to the UK, and then have 11 days before I come back out. But whilst I'm at home, it's eating all the right things. There's a lot of natural things that I'm doing. Plus there's supplements that we get from the clinic. For example, high-dose turmeric or curcumin, along with other things for the liver, to help support the repair process in between, and then back for another round. So that's the procedure, and I'm going to film it as it is. It's not going to, I might not look very, I might look a bit raw and rough and ready at times, but I just want you to see the experience, so that, and if anybody is considering this or nervous about it, I absolutely have complete belief that this is going to help me. And I've seen the results of people that have been doing it here, and it's genuinely inspiring. There's been many, many tears shed by me and others who are sharing our journey together, because during the process, a lot of emotion gets released as well, because when you're releasing illness from the body, a lot of that illness is associated with past trauma, past emotional stress, and all the things that you harbour on a day-to-day basis that you don't necessarily clear out and cleanse naturally. So I found myself going through this, and also listening to meditation while I'm going through the treatment, and hypnosis. There's a lot of emotional release happens at the same time, and you just got to let it go, because as many of you know, if you're holding on to tension, that's where illness manifests. So anyway, I'll try and do a few more videos during the week. Right, I'm going to try and stop this now. It's the first live I've done on YouTube, so apologies if it's a bit clunky. Here we go. How do I stop it? Okay. Don't know how to stop it. Right, apologies for this, everybody. I just assumed it would have a stop button, and it doesn't seem to have one, so...